Now I hear that Iran is trying to build up again, and if they are, we're going to have to knock them down. We'll knock them down. We'll knock the hell out of them.
You know what's the funniest thing about 2026? Israel and America are openly talking about attacking Iran. Not secretly behind closed doors, openly. Benjamin Netanyahu goes on TV and says we must strike Iran's nuclear facilities before it's too late. Trump just said if Iran builds its missile facilities, we attack again, while Netanyahu was beside him smiling. American senators hold hearings about military options against Iran. But here's what they're not telling you. Iran just unveiled a weapon that makes those plans look like absolute suicide. No place in the Middle East would be safe for Israel and the US. A weapon so devastating that if Israel or America actually tries to attack Iran in 2026, they'll regret it for the rest of their very short existence. And the crazy part? Iran already tested the same weapon, but with 25% capability in the 12-day war. But this newer version will make even Trump jealous. So what is this weapon? How does it work? And why are Israeli generals suddenly very, very quiet after Iran showed it to the world? Stick around, because what you're about to learn will completely flip everything you thought you knew about the balance of power in the Middle East. For the full, uncensored version, check our Telegram channel, link in the description. Let's get started. Let me paint you the picture of what's happening right now. Israel and America were convinced, absolutely convinced, that they can destroy Iran's nuclear program with a surprise attack. That didn't work. Their plan was simple. Drop the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, the biggest bunker-buster bomb America's ever built. They've been planning that for over a decade. The GBU-57 weighs 13 tons, about the weight of 9 cars. It's designed specifically to penetrate deep underground bunkers. American engineers claim it can punch through 60 meters of reinforced concrete before detonating. That's 20 stories deep underground. But why didn't that work? Because Western media loves to show you images of Iran as this endless desert. Sand dunes, flat terrain, easy targets. That's a lie. Iran is one of the most mountainous countries on Earth. Over 60% of Iran's territory is covered by mountain ranges, some peaks reaching over 5,500 meters high. Iran's most critical military facilities are built inside these mountains. We're talking about tunnels carved 250 to 1,000 meters deep into solid rock. Nuclear facilities, missile production sites, command centers, all buried under half a kilometer of granite and limestone. How do you destroy a target that's under 600 meters of mountain? You don't. The GBU-57 can penetrate 60 meters of reinforced concrete. Impressive, right? Iran's facilities are under 10 times that depth. And it's not even reinforced concrete. It's solid mountain rock, which is far harder to penetrate than concrete. America's most powerful bunker-buster bomb is completely useless against Iran's deep mountain facilities. But here's where the propaganda falls apart completely. America and Israel claimed they launched strikes on Iran's nuclear sites. Media celebrated. Politicians took credit. But there was no radiation leak. Let me explain why that matters. When you destroy a nuclear facility, especially one containing enriched uranium or active reactors, radiation leaks are inevitable. If those strikes actually destroyed Iran's nuclear facilities, there would have been massive radiation leaks. Cities near those facilities would have needed to be evacuated. International radiation monitoring systems would have detected it. It would have been impossible to hide. None of that happened, because the strikes didn't destroy anything meaningful. The facilities were too deep. The bombs couldn't reach them. A damaged nuclear reactor is more dangerous than a nuclear bomb. Remember Chernobyl? That wasn't a bomb. It was a reactor meltdown. And it contaminated thousands of square kilometers of land, made entire cities uninhabitable, and caused health problems that lasted for decades. But here's when things get interesting. Israel is almost entirely flat coastal terrain. Tel Aviv, Haifa, their military bases, all within 20 kilometers of the sea, sitting on relatively flat land. Israel's nuclear facilities are sitting on the surface just like a piece of cake. And because of the small size of Israel, any attack on Israel's nuclear facilities means the country is finished. Finished forever. That's when Netanyahu will run to his private underground bunker. But here the new Iranian weapon comes in. Iran recently unveiled a new bunker buster missile, and it's the first of its kind. Iran built a weapon specifically designed to destroy the one thing Israel and America thought was safe. You might have heard of the Khorramshahr 5 missile, a missile that, although it's not nuclear, launching it would make the UN very mad, because a single missile can carry 80 warheads. Yes, you heard it right. 2 tons of explosives scattered around an entire military base that can flatten buildings to what you see in Gaza. But Iran went even further and put something special on this massive missile. Why is Iran's new warhead on the Khorramshahr 5 missile a game changer? The Khorramshahr 5 is a liquid-fuel ballistic missile with a range of 2,000 kilometers. That means launched from Iranian territory, it can hit any target in Israel, any American base in the Middle East, and even reach parts of Europe. But what makes this missile special is the speed and the warhead. This missile travels at Mach 18 during its terminal phase. That's over 22,000 kilometers per hour or 6 kilometers per second. Compare that to America's GBU-57 bunker buster bomb, which is dropped from an aircraft and falls at roughly Mach 1, about 1,200 kilometers per hour. The Khorramshahr 5 hits its target 18 times faster. Now here's the physics that makes this absolutely devastating. Kinetic energy increases exponentially with speed. That means if you double the speed, you quadruple the kinetic energy. If you increase speed by 18 times, you increase kinetic energy by over 300 times. So even though the Khorramshahr warhead is only 2 tons compared to the GBU-57's 13 tons, the kinetic energy at impact is potentially comparable or even greater because of the massive speed advantage. But there's a problem, and Iran knows it. At Mach 18, the warhead experiences extreme heat from atmospheric friction. We're talking temperatures over 2,000 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt steel. And when metal gets that hot, it softens. It loses structural integrity. A bunker buster warhead needs to stay rigid and hard to penetrate concrete and rock. If the metal softens from heat, it deforms on impact instead of penetrating. This has been the limiting factor for hypersonic bunker busters. Russia tried it with the Oreshnik missile. Iran has also developed heat-resistant materials that can keep a bunker buster warhead structurally stable at hypersonic speeds. We don't know exactly what materials they're using, probably advanced carbon-carbon composites, tungsten alloys, maybe ceramic coatings. But it works. And that means Iran now possesses the ability to deliver a 2-ton kinetic penetrator warhead traveling at Mach 18 against any target within 2,000 kilometers. Let me spell out what that means. Every American military base in Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Qatar, Bahrain, UAE, Saudi Arabia, gone already. Every Israeli military facility, including their underground command centers, doesn't exist anymore. The GBU-57 can penetrate 60 meters, and that's considered the ultimate bunker buster. The Khorramshahr 5, with its hypersonic speed and 2-ton warhead, could potentially exceed that penetration depth because of the insane kinetic energy at impact. And here's the beautiful part from Iran's perspective. This isn't a nuclear weapon. This is a conventional bunker buster. No radiation, no nuclear threshold crossed, just pure kinetic energy. That means Iran can use these missiles without triggering a nuclear response from the United States. But the damage would be catastrophic. If Israel launches an attack on Iran's nuclear facilities, Iran could respond by firing 50 Khorramshahr 5 missiles equipped with bunker buster warheads. 10 target Israeli underground command bunkers. The warheads punch through 20 meters of concrete and detonate inside, collapsing the entire structure and killing everyone inside. 20 target American military bases across the Middle East. 10 target Israeli air defense sites. 10 target critical infrastructure, power plants, desalination facilities, communication hubs. In one salvo, Iran cripples Israel's military command structure and destroys America's ability to operate in the region. And there's no defense against it. These missiles travel too fast for interception. Even if you detect the launch, you have maybe 5 minutes before impact. And even if by some miracle you intercept 80% of them, the remaining 20%, that's 10 missiles, still reach their targets and cause devastating damage. This is exactly what Iran demonstrated recently when it fired over 500 missiles at Israel. Even with American, French, British and Jordanian support, Israel could only intercept about 40% of them. 60% got through. That's deterrence. Not through nuclear weapons, not through empty threats. Through demonstrated capability that makes the cost of attacking Iran absolutely unacceptable. So when Netanyahu stands on TV and talks about attacking Iran in 2026, when American politicians debate military options, they're lying to you. They know they can't win. They know Iran's facilities are unreachable. They know Iran's response would be devastating. But they keep pushing the narrative because war is profitable, even at the cost of innocent lives. We can't show you everything here. Check our Telegram channel for the full uncensored analysis. Link in the description. If this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe and like button, because when this situation escalates, you'll want to know what's really happening, not what CNN tells you. This is East Wind Brigade, where our voices unite and we rise together.